As darkness settles and the quiet of night unfolds, our minds often wander into restless thoughts or fleeting worries. Yet, beneath the hush of the sleeping world, there's a quiet power in mastering our inner calm, embracing a stoic approach to what remains beyond the reach of day's chaos. Tonight, we'll explore simple, yet profound reflections that can help you detach from the upheavals of the day, cultivate serenity, and drift into sleep with a clearer mind. It's not just about resting your body. It's about calming the restless currents within. Stay with me and discover how a few mindful shifts before sleep can transform your nights into a peaceful sanctuary. The power of reflection at night. As darkness envelopes the world and silence settles in, the mind often becomes more receptive to introspection. Night offers a natural pause, a gentle pause from the relentless pace of daily life. For those practicing Stoic thought, this quiet moment becomes a fertile ground for reflection, an opportunity to examine one's actions, emotions, and thoughts without the distractions of daylight. The stillness of the night makes it easier to detach from external chaos and observe internal currents. This detachment fosters clarity, allowing individuals to see their lives from a broader perspective rather than getting tangled in fleeting worries or passions. Reflection before sleep encourages a mindful release of the day's burdens. Picture each passing hour as a star fading into the horizon, quietly disappearing into the darkness, leaving space for calm and renewal. This process involves questioning whether one has lived up to their values, maintained virtue, or handled challenges with wisdom. For example, pondering whether anger or frustration was justified or if patience could have led to a better outcome deepens self-awareness. Such exercises highlight the importance of acceptance, accepting both successes and mistakes without harsh judgment. In doing so, individuals cultivate a mindset rooted in serenity, not regret. Furthermore, engaging in deliberate nightly reflection allows for a reset of sorts, a mental cleansing akin to opening a window to let in the cool night air. As thoughts settle, the mind becomes less cluttered, better prepared for restful sleep. This practice aligns with the Stoic ideal of focusing only on what is within our control, which becomes especially significant at night when external circumstances are less pressing. Contemplating qualities like resilience, discipline, and gratitude during these moments energizes the soul, reinforcing a sense of purpose and integrity. Watching the stars beyond the window, one can remind oneself of life's vastness and the importance of maintaining perspective amidst daily trials. In this quiet space, the mind also addresses future actions without the anxiety of immediate crises. It's a calm forecast, mulling over tomorrow's possibilities with a balanced attitude. Reflecting on what can be controlled and what must be endured, night proves an effective time for grounding oneself in reason rather than emotion. The restorative power of this practice lies in its simplicity. By turning inward and examining one's internal landscape, each night becomes an act of renewal. This continual process, when embraced regularly, nurtures resilience, helping to face the inevitable uncertainties of life with a steady heart and clear mind. Recognizing what lies beyond control. As the night stretches on, thoughts often drift toward the boundaries of influence and mastery. The gentle darkness helps illuminate what can be shaped by our will and what exists beyond it. Recognizing what lies beyond control is not merely an exercise in rationality, but a peaceful acceptance that withstands the quiet weight of night. Like stars shimmering in the vast sky, some aspects of life are fixed, immutable, and unlikely to change regardless of effort. For instance, the past belongs to history and cannot be rewritten, no matter how much remorse or regret might stir within us. Acknowledging this distinction provides a kind of mental clarity that becomes especially valuable as sleep approaches. Night encourages an inward focus that gently filters distraction and brings attention to the ephemeral nature of many struggles. When confronted with anxiety or frustration, one can remind oneself that the conditions of the external world, other people's actions, societal forces, or natural events, are not always within reach to alter. A storm on the horizon, for example, might disrupt sleep, yet it is beyond control, just like the shifting winds of fate and circumstance. Understanding this can foster detachment from the relentless need to fix everything, creating space for calmness instead of turmoil. In that quiet darkness, recognizing the limits of influence can feel liberating and restful. Practicing this awareness before sleep can also deepen resilience. Often, our minds feast on unresolved conflicts or the chaos of the day, amplifying feelings of helplessness or frustration. Reflecting on what is genuinely within our grasp, our thoughts, choices, and attitudes, sharpens the sense of autonomy. Conversely, accepting what cannot be changed softens the grip of worry. If a loved one is unwell, we might wish to intervene, but we know some outcomes are beyond our control. Embracing this fact allows us to release unnecessary tension. Night provides a gentle reminder that peace is found, not in changing external realities, but in anchoring ourselves in what we can genuinely influence. Finally, letting the night's quiet serve as a backdrop for this realization transforms the act into a form of meditation. Like a calm lake reflecting the moon, understanding what lies beyond control creates a peaceful stillness inside. It's a recognition that certain currents of life flow apart from our intentions, and sailing alongside them with patience and acceptance is often enough. When the mind has settled and the body relaxes, this perspective can guide us into a restful slumber, carrying with it the reassurance that some parts of life, like the night sky, are meant to be observed, admired, and accepted for what they are. Practicing gratitude for the day. As the night settles softly around you, the silence becomes a canvas for reflection. Practicing gratitude for the day involves deliberately recognizing moments, no matter how small, that brought a sense of value or connection. When you lie in bed, it's helpful to gently sift through the hours, acknowledging instances that sparked appreciation, perhaps a kind word from a colleague, a moment of quiet clarity during a busy day, or even the simple comfort of a warm drink in the cool evening. These reflections can serve as gentle anchors, pulling you away from worries that tend to swirl in the dim light of dusk. Gratitude in these quiet moments isn't about grand gestures, but rather the subtle light that illuminates your personal landscape. Imagine the day as a series of tiny islands, each offering a small gift or lesson, something to be quietly acknowledged before sleep claims the horizon. If a moment of patience allowed someone else to feel understood, or if a fleeting smile brightened a rough patch, recognizing these instances nurtures a peaceful perspective. This process not only fosters contentment, but also cultivates a sense of detachment from transient troubles, allowing your mind to settle like a calm lake under the night sky, reflecting focused appreciation rather than restless thoughts. Practicing gratitude before sleep also encourages a sense of acceptance. It's a gentle reminder that life, much like the cycles of night and day, contains both light and darkness. By consciously directing focus toward what unfolded that was positive or meaningful, you begin to shift your internal narrative. For example, acknowledging how a difficult situation was navigated with resilience or how small acts of kindness created ripples in your day can foster humility and emotional balance. Nighttime gratitude becomes a way of sealing a day, like placing a star in its rightful position in the vast firmament, leaving behind any unresolved shadows for tomorrow. Finally, this practice acts as a doorway to detachment, not indifference, but a calm separation from unnecessary attachment to fleeting events or material outcomes. It allows the mind to gently unwind, embracing the present moment with appreciation instead of craving or disappointment. As you turn off the light and drift into sleep, holding on to a sense of gratitude for the day's gifts acts as a soft shield, helping you rest with clarity and equanimity. The night's quiet provides space for your thoughts to settle, and gratitude becomes a comforting lullaby, an anchor to peaceful dreams, and a reminder that even in darkness, there is always something worth recognizing. Contemplating impermanence and change. As night descends and shadows lengthen across the quiet room, thoughts about the transient nature of life naturally come to the forefront. The flickering candlelight or the gentle glow of a screen can serve as a reminder that everything we hold dear, objects, feelings, even our own sense of self, are in a constant state of flux. Recognizing this impermanence calms the restless mind, inviting a sense of detachment that eases the transition into sleep. The universe itself is perpetually shifting. Galaxies drift through space, seasons ebb and flow, and even the most solid mountains gradually erode over time. Harmony lies in observing this relentless change without resistance, embracing it as an inherent part of existence rather than fighting against it. Reflecting on impermanence at night can cultivate a deeper understanding that life's fleeting moments are the very fabric of our experience. A single sunset, resplendent in oranges and purples, is only temporary, giving way to the darkened sky. Yet in this, there is a kind of beauty and peace. When contemplating this, one might think of personal relationships, achievements, or possessions, how they evolve or dissolve over the course of days, months, or years. Recognizing their temporary nature can soften attachments, making losses less painful and gains more cherished. It transforms a fixation on permanence into appreciation for the present moment, encouraging a tranquil acceptance that what was will soon be no more. Imagining the universe as a vast, flowing stream can help solidify this perspective. Everything that appears solid or enduring is just water passing through our hands, an illusion of stability that masks constant movement. If we hold tightly to the idea of permanence, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. Instead, embracing the fluidity allows us to rest peacefully in the knowledge that change is the natural order. Even in the quiet hush of night, this recognition offers a calming certainty. Just as the stars fade with dawn, our concerns and identities are part of the endless cycle of emergence and dissolution. Such thoughts promote detachment not through denial but through clear-eyed acceptance. As sleep approaches, the mind can settle into a gentle surrender, trusting the impermanence of all things. It is in this surrender that peace is found, an understanding that clingings are illusory, and that true stability lies within the awareness of change itself. When the stars shimmer above and the world outside dims into darkness, contemplating impermanence becomes a quiet affirmation that each moment is fleeting, yet full of significance. Recognizing this allows the soul to drift effortlessly into rest, unburdened by the illusion of permanence and open to the serenity that comes with embracing the perpetual rhythm of transformation. Embracing stillness and acceptance. As the night deepens, the world outside quiets into a gentle hush, creating an ideal backdrop for embracing stillness. In that moment of relinquishing control over external chaos, one begins to recognize the power lying in acceptance. The practice draws on the quiet wisdom that serenity often resides not in changing what cannot be altered, but in allowing oneself to rest in the present moment. When the mind quiets from the day's tumult, it becomes easier to observe thoughts and feelings without judgment, merely acknowledging their existence like stars shimmering softly in the night sky. This acknowledgement fosters a calm without resistance, cultivating a space where inner turmoil dissolves into the larger stillness surrounding us. Nighttime embodies a natural pause, a moment where effort and striving quietly soften, making room for surrender. Whether it's the flickering shadows of a candle or the distant whisper of wind, these gentle rhythms remind us that life moves in cycles, not constant upheaval. Accepting this rhythm requires us to let go of the illusion that we can control every fragment of our experience. Instead, we learn to flow with what is, like the moon's steady glow that remains consistent beneath the shifting clouds. In doing so, we cultivate a humble awareness that every event, every emotion, is transient, part of a larger web of unfolding reality. The act of surrender becomes a peaceful act of trust, a reminder that we are part of something greater than our fleeting worries. Practicing stillness before sleep often involves gently turning inward, listening to the subtle signals of the body and mind, allowing them to settle into quiet acceptance. For example, recognizing when intrusive thoughts arise as part of natural fluctuation rather than problems to fix helps foster detachment. Acknowledging that suffering, discomfort, or regret are temporary experiences, as ephemeral as shadows cast by moonlight, can steady the mind. Many find that contemplating the insignificance of their daily dramas in the vast night sky brings clarity and a sense of release. With each breath, there's an opportunity to release tension, to loosen grips on outcomes, and to simply be, nothing more, nothing less. In that peaceful stillness, acceptance becomes less a resignation and more a vital act of presence. It's a conscious choice to welcome the night's silence as a gift rather than an adversary. As darkness quietly envelopes the world, leaning into acceptance offers a sense of unity with the ebb and flow of life. It teaches us that tranquility is not the absence of challenge, but the recognition of life's continual cycles, of loss and gain, light and shadow. When we embrace this truth, sleep itself transforms into a natural extension of that acceptance, an opportunity to surrender fully, to rest in confidence that, like the night sky, our inner worlds are ever expansive, ever calm, and resilient through the darkness, preparing the mind for rest and clarity. As darkness descends and the world slows down, the mind often begins to scatter, caught amidst lingering worries and restless thoughts. Engaging in Stoic reflections before sleep provides a gentle yet powerful way to anchor oneself. It involves deliberately shifting focus away from external chaos and inward to the realm of calm reasoning. Visualize the quiet of night, the subtle shift of the stars, and the lull of the evening breeze whispering through silent rooms. By recognizing the transient nature of external events and internal emotions, as Stoics advise, you carve out mental space free from unnecessary attachments, fostering clarity. This act of detachment doesn't mean apathy, but rather a conscious choice to observe thoughts objectively without becoming embroiled in them. During these moments, it helps to consider the concept of control. Nighttime is a perfect opportunity to reflect on what lies within your power, the decisions, reactions, and attitudes, and what isn't, such as the movements of the universe or the disruptions of others. A common practice is to mentally review the day through a Stoic lens, gently dissecting moments where patience was maintained or lost. This acts as a training ground for future serenity. Imagine lying back and calmly acknowledging that some things are simply outside your influence, like a starry sky that shines regardless of whether you notice it. Recognizing this frees the mind from the chaos of trying to control everything and prepares it for peaceful, undisturbed rest. Furthermore, contemplating the impermanence of life at night can deepen one's sense of serenity. The darkness outside mirrors the fading of daily troubles, inviting a perspective shift. Visualize the ebb and flow of stars, clouds dissolving into the night, reminding yourself that all things are fleeting. In the quiet moments before sleep, this practice can help dissolve lingering anxiety, making space for acceptance. Slow breathing, paired with reflection on the insignificance of minor setbacks, allows your mind to shift from a state of restless grasping to one of gentle surrender. Such awareness cultivates a calm heart and an undisturbed mind, ready to slip into restorative sleep with clarity. Engaging in Stoic thoughts before sleep is also about nurturing gratitude and perspective. It's worth acknowledging what was handled well, what lessons were learned, and what burdens can be left behind. To do this effectively, some find it useful to articulate a few simple affirmations, reminding themselves that the day's hardships are transient and their inner peace remains intact. As the night deepens around you, let these reflections settle into the subconscious like water smoothing stones, quietly aligning the mind for the tranquility that follows. Through this nightly ritual of mental decluttering, your thoughts shift from scrambling for answers to embracing the stillness of the moment, setting the stage for clarity and calm to lead you into restorative rest. Usnavnoi, Rise Jill 7. As the world outside dims and the night settles in with its quiet embrace, contemplating the principles of Stoic thought before sleep can serve as a gentle anchor for the mind. The stillness of night invites reflection on the day's events, offering an opportunity to detach from transient worries and external chaos. Focusing on mastery over one's internal landscape, accepting what cannot be changed and recognizing the fleeting nature of external circumstances becomes especially potent in these moments of stillness. This practice supports cultivating resilience amid external unpredictability, aligning the soul with a sense of calm and centeredness as consciousness drifts into rest. A key aspect involves reviewing the events of the day with a lens of clarity and objectivity. Sometimes, this means acknowledging frustrations or mistakes without judgment, recognizing them as opportunities for growth rather than sources of shame. For instance, if a disagreement or setback occurred, one can reflect on how their reactions aligned with Stoic virtues like patience and humility. Repeating this mental exercise nightly helps to temper the emotional turbulence that often interferes with peaceful sleep. Such reflection fosters detachment from fleeting passions, reinforcing the understanding that external outcomes do not define internal tranquility. This mental discipline prepares the mind to release attachments in the silent hours and embrace the serenity that comes from virtue. Another powerful practice involves contemplating the nature of impermanence. Nighttime, with its vast expanse of darkness, symbolizes the transient nature of all things. Joys, sorrows, successes, failures, all ebb and flow like the phases of the moon. Recognizing that everything is in constant flux promotes equanimity. For example, silently acknowledging that today's frustrations will fade with the dawn helps to loosen their grip on consciousness. This mindset shifts focus from attachment to outcomes toward appreciation for the present moment and acceptance of life's inherent uncertainty. As consciousness gently slips toward sleep, the mind is reminded that by cultivating virtue and wisdom now, it invests in a resilience that endures beyond the fleeting shadows of daily turmoil. Finally, the quiet moments before sleep can be used to revisit anxieties and fears with a pragmatic, rational approach. Instead of resisting discomfort, Stoic thinkers advise embracing it as a natural part of human experience. This involves asking oneself whether these fears are within control and recognizing what lies beyond. For instance, contemplating death or loss under the calm of night can inspire a sense of peace rooted in understanding rather than dread. It's a time to reaffirm that external events, no matter how dark or uncontrollable, do not threaten the inner fortress of virtue and reason. Such nightly reflections serve as a form of mental fortification, preparing the soul to meet the darkness with composure and gratitude for the tranquility that patience and acceptance bring. As the night softly embraces us, it's a gentle invitation to let go of the day's worries, to find peace in the quiet stillness. Remember, embracing impermanence, accepting what we cannot control, and practicing gratitude are the silent anchors that steady our minds before sleep. Each thought becomes lighter when we detach with compassion, unburdened by unnecessary stress. Before you drift into dreams, take a moment to reflect on these truths. Allow them to settle calmly within, just like the quiet moonlight that soothes the dark. If today's reflections resonated, first invite you to join me again. More moments of stillness and insight await us in future videos under the tranquil night sky. Now, rest peacefully, knowing that tomorrow brings new opportunities to practice serenity and resilience. Sleep well, beneath the starry silence, and wake renewed.